Alright, finally, version 5.5 special program is up and we get to see the new area that they're going to release, the Collective of Plenty, and also the city inside the volcano, the Great City of Talon. I want to make a new type of content this time around, and every time they create a new version, the special program, I will be here to recap everything for you in more detail. Of course, because I am a commentary and lore channel, it will be obvious that I will talk about some lore theories along the way. I love this game's content after all, and I've been playing this game since day one, so please pardon me if I geek too much about this game. Also, please don't comment anything about leaked content, we don't talk about them here, so please be respectful and talk about them somewhere else. With that said, don't forget to give this video a like and comment so the channel can be noticed by the algorithm. My name is Glitchxcity and I make lore and commentary videos on this channel to keep you company. The live stream is hosted by Yinlin and female Rover. Yeah, I am not kidding when I say that. Who would have thought we'll be seeing them in Genshin Impact livestream? But for real though, if you don't get the joke, then haven't been updated with gaming news, Genshin Impact has changed their English voice studio to the same studio that Wuthering Waves were using, from Formosa Studio to Side Global Studio due to the SAG-AFTRA strike. Now, I don't know if Wuthering Waves were using Side Global or not because I couldn't find anything official when I did my research, but since Faressa and Misc's voice actors are the same ones from Wuthering Waves casts, I can safely say, I hope, that they're within the same studio. So, English voice actor users can now rejoice because we'll be hearing fully voiced English voices again. Just maybe expect some accent. In any case, feel free to correct me in the comments. Alright, so the first thing we need to talk about are the new areas. But before we get into that, listen to this.
Wait a minute!
The rules of war are woven in the womb. The victors shall burn bright, while the losers must turn to ash. When the god of war shares this secret with the traveler, it is because she has her reasons.
They finally implement the Travail music. That's great! God, I love this music so much, and it seems this will be the same theme that we will hear in the new area. In any case, the new sub-area is called Atokpan, which of course includes the long-awaited tribe, the Collective of Plenty, and also known as Teteokan. There is also the volcano of Talon and a city underneath the volcano, the city of Talon, an ancient city created by the dragons. From the looks of it, it seems we'll be getting new environmental challenges like in the Sumeru Desert, where in this case, it's going to be volcanic rain. In that case, if you're a new or casual player, it'll be a good idea to bring shielders and healers with you. Speaking of new areas, we also get to experience the new Saurian as well, the Tatankasaurs. Fun fact, we already see their face from the Saurian cookies and in Mavrika's trailer as well. In any case, just like other Saurians we see in other tribes, the Tatankasaurs have their own exploration talent, where in this case, they can run, destroy rocks, and briefly run on water or liquid phlogiston. Because of the ball-looking design, they of course have to have a mischievous Monitu that resembles matadors. Use the Tatankasaurs or Collective of Plenty casts to hit the Monitu and get rewards from them. The casts are of course Yansan and Faressa. Speaking of those two, let's take a look at their kit together. Faressa is a 5-star Electrovision and Catalyst user. Her role is a plunging main DPS. Her normal attack is a 3-4 hit attack, and her charge attack allows her to dash towards her enemies, leap forward, and perform a plunge attack. After using her elemental skill, her normal attacks can now perform charge attacks instead, allowing her to dish out plunge attacks to the enemies for a shorter time and faster pace. Triggering this skill recovers 3 electro particles. Faressa can gain 9 soul points the moment she performs plunging attacks, and once the meter is full, she enters fiery patient state and she deals increased damage. During this state, after performing a plunging attack, she will also perform a special elemental burst for a brief period at a lower elemental energy cost. This is easy to miss, but you can actually trigger this elemental burst by yourself as seen in this frame. Also, her elemental skill can be stored 2 times, which is great for more consistent plunging attacks. Judging from the demo, it seems her skill doesn't have a cooldown cooldown for the particle generation, so you can gain up to 6 electro particles with her. Her normal elemental burst, on the other hand, deals a plunge attack to the enemies, seems to be the same effect with the special elemental burst. Like always, Pharessa can consume Night Soul points to explore in the overworld and consume Phlogiston when the Night Soul points runs out. However, considering she can use her skill twice, this means she can run longer in the overworld, so if you're an exploration main, she might be a good pull value for you. As for her DPS capabilities, we'll just have to wait and see how she performs later. However, I can provide you with some potential builds that could work with Pharessa, but we'll talk about them in a bit. The second character is a character that I have been waiting for so long, Yansan, a 4-star Electrovision and Polearm user. Her role is a healer slash support. I kid you not, I am excited to get my grab a little hands on her because her kit looks very promising. Her normal attack is a 3-hit attack, which is not that relevant, but her elemental skill allows her to gain Night Soul points, lunges forward to deal damage to enemies, and recover 4 electro particles. This skill can be used for exploration to run faster in the overworld. Finally, her elemental burst allows Yansan to attack the enemies on surrounding areas, dealing damage while summoning the kinetic energy source that will follow the active character. The kinetic energy source provides buff to allies based on her attack, but also the movement distance of the active character except Yansan, and judging from the visual, it seems the movements are recorded and converted into Night Soul points for Yansan. The more allies move, the more attack buff Yansan gives. Also, trigger Night Soul burst will heal the active character's HP, but it doesn't seem her healing is that strong based on the visuals, but we'll see how it goes once she is released. Like Pharessa, Yansan can use her Night Soul points and Phlogiston to explore the overworld. I like how the hosts just landed Bennett because she said,
Although, because of that, her buff isn't restricted to a specific AoE.
her buffs are not locked to specific AoE. And it's true, but her buffs are quite specific because it wants you to move as much as possible, which shouldn't be that big of a deal anyway, because you are demanded to dodge and dash in fights. But we'll just have to see how much those movements can be recorded by her. Overall, if her numbers are good, this means we finally have a second Bennett in the party. And potentially stronger too, because Yansan can gain huge benefit from the Scroll of the Hero of Cinder City effect. As for potential teams, Pharessa and Yansan can be a good pair with each other because Pharessa moves a lot, and Yansan demands the active character to move as much as possible. I can see Pharessa being good in Xianyun teams, NATLAN comps, Shepherd's teams, and maybe the Aggravate teams, but that depends on how much electro that she applies. And judging from the visual, it seems that she doesn't really apply that much electro like Chlorant or maybe like Alhaitham, so it might work, it's just that it's going to be so-so at best. But of course, this is just a pre-release analysis, so take them with a grain of salt. As for her build, obviously the new artifact set is her best in slot because even though they don't announce it officially yet, they do leak it to us in the special program, so I'll talk about them in a bit. But even if you don't have that, being a Natlanist is already a good advantage anyway, so the Obsidian Codex should be her best in slot option. Yansan is a unique one here because she is essentially a Bennett without the circle impact and weaker healing. With that said, Yansan can work with almost any team that benefits attacks, which includes Dendro teams as well. Now remember, while Dendro teams mostly favor Elemental Mastery, a lot of Dendro DPS do favor attack as well, including Sumeru costs. I personally will be using Yansan with Alhaitham, finally a suited Natlan support for my husband. Anyways, outside of that, it's clear that Yansan is also a plunging support as well, considering that plunging attacks have the most movement out of them all. This restriction directly buffs Kinich as well, Mavuika, and Mualani because their gameplay demands you to move as much as possible. Whether Yansan buffs Chaska and Wander or not is unknown, so we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. Best artifact slot is of course Scroll of the Hero of Cinder City, or if you don't have a good set yet, then you can use Noblesse Oblige instead, but honestly you can just slap any stat on Yansan, so I still recommend you to use Scroll of the Hero of Cinder City anyway. Now we're going to talk about the new artifacts, which are actually shown to us in the live stream indirectly. But of course, as you all know, I also need to build my own artifact build, and in order for me to do that, subscribing is a good way to increase the sub stats. I'm sorry, I just have to do it. But since you made it this far, then I assume you like this video. Subscribing to this channel is a good way to support me because I create everything in this video all by myself, from the script writing to the final video that you're seeing right now, and also these cute chibi avatars. You'll be helping me a lot if you do just that and keep me motivated to continue improving my videos and create these videos as well. With that said, let's continue. Alright, so we need to talk about the artifacts. Now, when they show this beautiful quality of life improvement, they showed the artifacts effect from there, so let's take a look at them together. The first is the Long Night's Oath, a new best in slot for plunging DPS. 2-piece effect grants 25% increased plunging attack damage. Its 4-piece grants 1-2 stacks of Radiance Everlasting buff, granting 15% plunging attack damage bonus each stack. You can trigger this effect by performing plunging attack, charge attack, and elemental skill respectively. Each stack lasts 6 seconds, has an independent cooldown, and can be triggered once every 1 second. This likely means that performing one plunging attack grants 1 stack, elemental skill grants 2, and charge attack grants 2. This is definitely catered towards Pharessa because she can pretty much trigger the effect very easily. Other than Pharessa, I can see Xiao being a good user for this set since his charge attack is very fast and you can cast his skill before he enters his Bane of All Evil state. Now, I don't know about Gaming and Diluc because their charge attack is very slow, but who knows, maybe it'll work. The second artifact is the Finale of the Deep Galleries. The 2-piece grants the user 15% cryo damage bonus. The 4-piece grants the user normal attack and elemental burst damage increased by 60% when the user has 0 energy. If the user deals normal attack, the elemental burst damage buff will stop applying for 6 seconds, and so is the other way around. This effect can be triggered even if the user is off-field. Now, okay, this could have been a great set for Risley if their requirement is not that specific. Like 60% normal attack boost is very high, especially since he himself uses normal attack and charge attack for his main damage. But the problem is, the 0 energy requirement is impossible for almost everyone in the current cast to be able to achieve because you are gaining elemental energy anyway from doing attacks. Now I have a feeling that this effect is more than likely for a future character, but since this artifact set's design looks very reminiscent of Skirk, then this is more than likely a set teaser for Skirk's kit. It's definitely a specific effect, and as of now, it's hard to think of anyone that can take advantage of this set other than Mavuika, since she uses Fighting Spirit instead of Elemental Energy. It's safe to say no one at this moment of time can use this set, but it can be a good idea to save it for someone else in the future. Although I have a feeling that maybe Notcry is going to implement the 0 elemental energy kind of thing, especially that Mavuika said in the lore that some people in Notcry wield special power that predates the 7 elements of Teyvat. Speaking of that, let's lore geek a little bit. This artifact's name is called Finale of the Deep Galleries, so this set could more than likely talk more about Fontaine related lore or even Notcry in itself. Yes, I am aware that Pharessa's PA said Long Night's Oath is the Notcry lore, but I have a feeling that the other set could potentially talk about Notcry as well. We also learned that one NPC from Remuria questline came from a puny realm on a lone isle, so maybe this isle is Notcry, who knows? Although speaking of Notcry, I feel like they've been pretty aggressive with marketing Notcry because not only they create a web event that clearly talks about Notcry, but they've also been talking about it in the live stream as well. The next banner on first half is Pharessa and Xianyun with Yansan as the featured 4-star. I'd say this is a pretty good banner if you love plunging attack mechanics, and Xianyun can turn any characters you have into plunging DPS. If you love Diluc or want to have good use with your overwhelming amounts of 50-50 loss, Xianyun is a good pair for him, and his best team at the moment is plunging DPS due to his high normal attack multipliers. However, the second half is where the money's at because Shilonen is getting her first rerun. I have created a video about Yinlin in the past, so you can watch that video if you want to learn more about her. Fenty is a good character, but I'd say his pull value is lower now that a lot of enemies cannot be easily pulled, and there's just a lot of better option nowadays. However, his nature weapon, Elegy for the End, is a very good pull value considering you can use his weapon on many both supports or sub DPS like Fischl, Oron, Yinlin, Farzan, and Diona. I'd say if you really want a good pull value on both banners, then go for the second half. However, if you're a newbie who needs early game DPS, then Pharesa is a better value to start your early game with Yinlin as your next target, especially you are getting Ian-san in Pharesa's banner as well. There's also a new enemy for Pharesa's essential material, the Lava Dragon statue. The way this enemy works is by using pyro attacks in order to create an opening and deal higher damage, so it's advised to use that better Xiangling combo if you want to clear it as fast as possible. From the looks of it, this enemy can be hit with pyro attacks after you break its defense, but it's more than likely it has higher pyro resistance, so it's definitely advised to have other elements in the party for that extra DPS. Perhaps in this case, Hydro and Burning teams have the upper hand. There's also new local legends, and from the looks of it, it seems these two local legends count as one boss. First we have the Capybara, and now we got the Flower Current Birds and the Kakawa Goat, so that's interesting. For the name card collectors, good luck! Alright, time to learn more about the new area. Like I said, there's new areas in this update, which is always exciting for lore enthusiasts like myself. And of course, for the Primogems. Even dolphins such as myself still need those tiny crumbs of those primals. I want to save money, okay? In order to get to the top of Volcano of Talon, you need to wait for the right time to ride the Spirit Way to reach the Skyfire Circlet, the area that we always see from the distance. You can then dive inside the volcano, and this is interesting because instead of lava, it's actually covered in clouds as if we are entering a new world. This is interesting because we do learn in NATLAN that there is a city underneath the volcano, and at some point in the Men of Lithen, we do learn there's an underground city called Natlantia. This ancient dragon city called the City of Talon is what lies underneath the volcano, and if it's true, then this place could be Natlantia. Although if that's the case, then this means Natlantia is not a real city, but a fictional name. However, there's a possibility that Natlantia is based off the City of Talon, which could likely mean that the rider of Men of Lithen is not a human, but a dragon kind. You can watch this video if you want to know more about the context of this series, but for now, let's continue. We can expect some dragon technologies like the Sacred Source automatons, and it seems that this particular little automaton is going to be a new companion that will accompany us during our journey in the City of Talon. As for this huge dragon, Mizuki's VA revered this as the Secret Source Idol, which is, let's just say, quite a unique name to say the least, but apparently idol does not only refer to idol in pop culture or as in admired being, but it can also refer to something to praise or a deity in a way, something related to religions. This particular automaton seems to be a transport system like Scylla in Remuria for our travel in the City of Talon, but we might have to gain its trust first before we can ride it because we do see in the trailer that we have to fight it first. Also, it grants a luxurious chest. We also learned that this place is not only heavily damaged from the war between dragons and humans, but also corroded by the abyss. I definitely have theories regarding this matter, and I will make a separate video regarding that, but this is one theory that first came to my mind. You see, Shu Quadal faked his death, but he soon after was killed by the first Pyro Archon Shabalanke due to being corrupted by the abyss. My thoughts right now is something similar to a pep, where in this case, Shu Quadal consume or use the power of the abyss, but he is unable to contain himself and cause him to go mad. Maybe just like the forbidden knowledge, the abyssal power that he used spread all across the City of Talon, leading the city to be filled with abyssal monsters like NATLAN did. Maybe this is the reason why abyssal attack in the Collective of Plenty is still massive despite being the farthest area from the Sacred Flame. In any case, you'll be rewarded with extra 400 Primogems after clearing the new area, which is always a welcome addition. They also say this will be the climax story for the Little Buddy questline, so this could mean that the Little Buddy will either stay in the City of Talon or likely sacrifice himself in the meantime. Personally, I hope it's the first option only because I love my little Pookie and I want to visit him often, okay? Finally, the new event, which I am inclined to believe that there might be some low relevancy as well. You see, the premise of this event is to save a Tepetlisaur whelp from a disease that it suffers from the war against the Abyss few patches ago, and to do that, we need to collect sacred flame crystals that can only be obtained from the tribes fighting against each other in Bloomflower trials. The tribe chiefs agreed to help the Saurian with Mavuika see this as a chance to strengthen the tribe's friendship by using this opportunity for a great event. This event might not only give us a deep look into NATLAN's past, but also Saurians in general. We also need to talk about the visuals since there are plenty of details that they did not mention in the livestream. Feresa is definitely a Sonic reference, especially that they show this stage which is a reference to Sonic stage as well. Her design is based on Luchadora, a female equivalent of Luchador in Mexican fighting style called Lucha Libre. We'll talk more about her design analysis in another video. In order to enter the city of Talon, it seems we need to activate a specific mechanism that can light up the whole area. It seems that the whole city of Talon is more than likely shut down before it's abandoned. This frame also has an interesting statue that looks similarly like X Uxul Tsi Polon Tuleel. You may know her as Ixlel instead, this statue over here. Long story short, she is the original ruler of an ancient dragon civilization near in NATLAN, but then usurped by Ochkan after that. She has information about the Three Moon Sisters, but this information terrifies Ochkan to the point he trapped her in the old core of Tulel, siphoning her strength to power the city of NATLAN. However, Ixlal's consciousness remains defiant, causing Ochkan to build another core of Tulel to power the city using his draconic aspect, or Kukuik as we know of it. But the point is, Ixlel said Ahau used to be her colleague in rulership, and considering she reversed the Traveler and Little Body as chosen of dragons and elect of mine, then there's a chance there's more dragons like her. We can safely say that Ahau is one of them, and since Otskans also said there's a lot of rulers and sovereigns in Atlan, then we can safely say this statue is more than likely one of them. Also, since Ixlel knows about the Three Moon Sisters and how the dragons are connected with them, there's a chance that we might learn about these sisters from both the new artifact set and in the new area as well. Speaking of the new area, there's a cracked sky in these areas. Now, it's more than likely that these cracked sky are not connected with the fake sky because this area is inside the volcano. Or even if it is, then there might be a chance that the city is a simulation. I personally don't see it that way because a crack of mine is, what if this city is way beyond the sky? After all, these dragons and the Moon Sisters are tied in connection against each other. However, my theory about this is still very surface level, and that's not really the main area that I want to talk about. It's about this area. You think what I'm thinking? The Crimson Moon. I want to talk about this area, but since I don't want to make this video too long, I'll just give you little snippets of what I think. You see, this area is interesting because not only it shows the red moon, but also visual that it really looks similar to the Night Kingdom. You see, this lines over here looks like something we see in the Night Kingdom as well. There's also 7 looking orbs that seems to resemble the sun, which, while I don't think they're sun per se, they look more like stars. I also didn't notice until I watched Kat's video, but this kind over here looks like either it's Waksaklahunubakan or Dragonkind, which I am inclined to believe the latter because Feresa's VIII said a certain Dragonkind when she reminded the viewers about him. If my theory regarding Dragonkinds to stay in the underground, or in this case the old city of dragons, then there's a chance that these things are remaining dragon souls, and this place could likely act as the Night Kingdom for dragons of old. Again, we'll geek about this in later videos. Also, there's a teleport point here, so we can visit this place whenever we want. As for events, we have one co-op event, Akitsuki Motameshi rebranding, combat event, updates for the permanent music mode, 2 new echoes for Venti and Dihya, TCG updates, and double artifact event. Wow, double artifact after 5 whole patches, about time! They also have system optimization for artifacts crafted with Sanctifying Elixir, where the upgrades will guarantee at least twice to your chosen substats. This is a good upgrade, and I think twice is a great number to go with. There's also treasure compass upgrades, better bus trafficking quality of life, and mail search feature, which the mail one is I don't know, very irrelevant, but okay. They also have an SSD gate collab, which yeah, definitely not for my poor ass. Anyways, that's the deeper details I can give you and some speculation regarding the new area. Overall, I am excited for Riansan and the new area because my lore brain really wants to geek out about this patch. The new event sounds really cool too. What are the things you are excited about? Let me know in the comments. Jana!